What? 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 What?
Don't worry, he's going to explain himself.
No, just rewind it. Just a little bit. You can hear him say it again.
Yeah, I gotta. That was. What? Are you fucking serious? Are you serious right now? Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking for real?
Besides,
how does it make it any better though?
She's still the
age
mom.
gap is irrelevant.
Like, wouldn't it be worse? No, but wouldn't it be worse because then there's like a power imbalance because it's an adult and a kid? Like, okay.
If played
I don't want to stay on the topic. I'm not responding. I'm not getting back. I'm not getting back into the topic. That is so fucking wild. Okay, I'm sorry. Like, what?
No, I'm.
See, look, it's okay when he does it.
Yeah, it's okay when he does it.
It's really weird.
Jesus, dude, calm down. Like, chill out. It's not that serious. All right, come on.
Sagiri's mother is a great example of wasted potential due to her total absence from most of the series. I can only assume she died of Disney disease along with Masamune's parents. But this needn't be the case. Rather than the awful Sagiri, I propose we make Sagiri's mother the elusive Eromanga sensei for our narrative, and naturally give her pride of place in Masamune's harem. And I know what you're about to shriek.
What? What? What?
Don't worry, he's going to explain himself.
No, just rewind it. Just a little bit. You can hear him say it again.
Yeah, I gotta. That was.
Masamune's parents. But this needn't be the case. Rather than the awful Sagiri, I propose we make Sagiri's mother the elusive Eromanga sensei for our narrative, and naturally give her pride of place in Masamune's harem. And I know what you're about to shriek with incredulity, but she's an adult and Masamune's a minor. Maybe so, but if you Google age of consent Japan...
Are you fucking serious? Are you serious right now? Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking for real?
Listen. The one thing I have learned in my in my travels all the way up to the mountaintop so I can meditate is that whenever your views are low, whenever you're low on views and you want to start up controversy so people can watch your stupid shit, you just pop out the good old, well, actually, she's a minor, and then we end up here. Because everyone on Twitter does that, and everyone on YouTube, if they're in the community, they do that.
I gotta run you guys through my thought process right now, because I'm like, okay, you had me in the first half, not gonna lie, because he's like, okay, well, what if the mum was the one that's, super lewd and does the drawings and the stuff? Because I can create a scenario, and there probably is a manga like this already, right? Or a light novel or a thing, where it's like you have like the mum is the one that's doing the light novel, and then the kid is like embarrassed or whatever, of their mum doing the light novels. You could formulate. Like, it's very rough right now in my mind, but you can formulate an entire series around that, and it would probably work. But then he goes into this. He goes into, the MILF has to be part of the guy's harem, and now he has to justify it, right? Because I think he knows that's going to be where the people are going to attack him because of the whole miners thing, right? That the miners in the coal mines, mining the coal, Necro. the miners and the coals, mining the coal.
Coal paid, I agree.
Yeah, he has to now justify it. And he's going to try to is he actually about to try and justify it by using the, Japan age, like this meme that's not even true in the first place, right?
Nah, it's not.
I mean, like what? And he's citing IGN here from a Google source, which is also fucking hilarious, and from like May of 2013. Like, are you serious? Are you fucking for real right?
All right. Just for 1 second, let's read the summary citation of the thing on screen. However, all municipalities and prefectures, so every place in Japan, has their own particular laws, such as Tokyo's blah blah blah, which prohibits adults from having sex with youths who are under the age of 17. So what it means, all places in Japan prohibit adults from having sex with youths under 18. That means the age of consent is 17.
The age of consent. Well, I mean, it changed recently, I think.
Well, it had some
in terms of the national, in terms of the because okay, what it actually was as mentioned in the blurb, in terms of the national code, 13 was the code, but that was just the lowest it could go, right? That was where the government was like, this is as low as you're allowed to set it in your prefecture or region, right? And then each individual prefecture had its own codified law, and the vast majority of those were at the very least 16 plus, which, if you do look at other countries around the world, the vast majority of countries have it set at like 16, 17. Right? That is the majority of places. I don't know where Americans, sorry, Necro, I'm sorry for your country being weird, right? I don't know where Americans specifically have this really weird stick up their ass where they seem to think the age of consent should be like 25 or something, and anything below like 20-year-olds having sex is somehow like a massive problem or whatever. Like, I mean, like, there is obviously nuances in terms of like age gaps and stuff, but there's typically laws around that as well, right? Like, it all depends on where you are. But the general like gist is Japan's age of consent law is no different than the majority of places in the world, like Europe, you know, even my own homeland, it's 16, right? So when I'm online and I see you Americans going off about how could these anime girls oh god, so it's like I'm sitting here like, what are you on about? What are you on about? It's
Listen, we have people that are 41 years old, Dark Side Phil, who had a very interesting take on incestuous relationships. So if you want my honest opinion about Americans doing anything, he's 41 years old and he's allowed to vote and drive. He is part of society being ruined. So no, I don't like them either.
Yeah, I know. I'm just memeing, don't worry. But it's just because it's always Americans. It's always Americans that go. They always jump to this weird age of consent argument for everything, and I'm like, it's so fucking weird because most places don't care. Most places, it's like, right, the age of consent is 16. There are other laws in place to protect kids from, like, you know, 40-year-olds trying to date them or whatever, right? Like, you have, if you read the laws, they all seem relatively reasonable, right? But then there's this meme around Japan, specifically because they had the national level being so low for the longest time. And I think there was only like one island somewhere in like the Japan region that had it set to 30. It was like one place out of the whole country. And even then, I think that's now been amended and it's now in line with the rest of it, right? So, yeah, there's this weird... I hate this meme of, oh, Japan's age of consent is low, and that's why all of this weird anime stuff is there.
Yeah, but you know,
because it's not true. It's just not true.
I've heard we're going to finish with weird Americans, and then we're going to move on. That there were weird countdown sites for famous female actors that were turning 18 at such and such date.
Yeah.
And oh, then she's legal. Oh, then stupid countdowns for female actors for when they're going to turn 18.
I'm finally going to be able to shoot my shot, Ellie.
It's weird.
There was a skit about that from some guy. I can't remember. It was some animated guy. It was like Batman and Joker. It was like Joker's worst crime, and it was like, Batman, I have been dating this girl, and she's 17 years between, you know, like 100, you know, like the countdown.
350 days.
She's about to turn 18, and then I could finally do and Batman's like, you're despicable, you know, like, you know, yeah, it's weird. So this blindsided the shit out of me. I was not expecting him to be like, to get back to the video, I was not expecting him to be like, okay, here's how we fix Eromanga Sensei. We're going to turn it from the Siscon show to the MILF show to like MILF X teenage boy show. That's how we fix it. I was not expecting that at all. That was so out of left field. But okay, let's continue. I wanna hear this. How's he gonna justify this?
Japan, there's a really disapproving look. If there's got to be an age gap between Masamune and Aramanga Sensei, I'd rather they both be legal if they're not going to be peers. Besides,
how does it make it any better though?
She's still the
age
mom.
gap is irrelevant.
Like, wouldn't it be worse? No, but wouldn't it be worse because then there's like a power imbalance because it's an adult and a kid? Okay, to preference, I don't fucking care, and I don't have an actual problem with any of that, right? You're into what you're into, right? As long as it's fiction and you're not going after real people, I don't care, right? But if I'm going to use the logic of my enemies, right, and I'm going to be thinking about what is theoretically worse, two teenagers getting into, well, teenagers / young people having a relationship versus an older person and a kid.
Yeah, the power dynamic.
The power dynamic. It's like when you have, teacher X student, right? There's a power. The reason teacher X student is supposed to be bad in real life, right, is because of the power indifference and the fact that the adult can use that power indifference to manipulate the person younger than them, right? That's why it's a problem. So his logic here is so fucking weird.
No,
it's like Kanoko
really
said.
Weird.
It's just like whenever you read the news stories. Sorry if this is gonna get you demonetized.
We're not demonetized in general. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so the stories, like when you see it was like it could be like a male teacher of like 43 years old, and he had raped a 13-year-old girl or something, like one of those stories. But then if it's the opposite and it's a woman and it's a 12-year-old boy, they say the teacher had sex with a 12-year-old student or whatever it is, and that's how it kind of shifts into like the weird, like that's why he's okay with it, because it's not as creepy to him, because then it's like, that's amazing, that's nice. But if it's like a creepy old guy, then it's bad.
There is the hypocrisy around that when it's a female teacher, and because most men like let's be honest with ourselves as men, right? 99% of us are gonna be like sick, right? Even though we recognize it's bad and it's wrong and it's still abuse, like most men. Like people will go on about how bad it is, but deep down, most of us are going to be like, "Man, I wish that was me." Right? Like it's just, come on, like it's not good, but I'm just being a realist here, right? Like it's a lot of people are like that, and that's why that hypocrisy kind of exists in a sense, even though it shouldn't. And I agree that it shouldn't, right? Like if they get convicted, they should be convicted the same as if a man was doing it and whatnot, right? But I agree with you. That's probably why he has why he's got this like logic gap in his thinking here. I think that it's So I want to address some chats because Samu's been saying some interesting things. He was like, I forgot what stream it was, but I heard that it wasn't set to 13 so that children could have the right to escape an abusive household earlier. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe it was on the normalities. Maybe that's when we talked about. I can't remember. But I don't know if that was the. I don't know if that was the specific reason for it to be that low. But I know in terms of actual age of consent, most of the time they set it to 16, 17-ish. Specifically because that means that, let's say, like you were two teenagers in a relationship. It means that that's okay, right? Because if you made it so that teenagers couldn't engage in activities, let's just say, it would cause a lot of problems, because it would be like, oh, it's just like a normal boyfriend-girlfriend doing things, and all of a sudden now they're criminals, right? Or if, for instance, let's say like you have normal teenagers exchanging photos with one another, even though you shouldn't do that, kids. Don't do that. It's bad. It always backfires when you do that, right? Don't do it. If you did have a situation like that, it wouldn't necessarily be considered, the cheese pizza, because if it's between them two, it's not distribution, or whatever. Like there are you'd have to look into it. There's like legal reasons, and when you read the legal reasons, they kind of do make sense as to why it would be 16, 17, and that's why I personally think that 16, 17, based on the legal theories that I've read about it, is fine, right? It's a very complicated subject because you have to kind of tiptoe around, like you don't want to sound like you're supporting anything bad.
Because in real terms, it should be kind of lower for that age group.
Yeah, and that's why you have age gap laws, right? So it's like if there is a significant age gap, let's say it's like a 25-year-old and a 16-year-old, it changes the way that the law is looked at, because obviously that's a lot different than like a 17-year-old and a 16-year-old, right? So I don't know what. God, we're supposed to be talking about Eromanga Sensei, and we're talking about the age of consent, which is such
because he's talking about mother-son relationships.
I just want a preference. It's like I'm not
very irrelevant.
I want a preference, right? Like, I'm not trying to justify or not justify anything. I am solely speaking on this is my understanding, and I'm not a lawyer, right? I'm just saying this is my understanding of how the law works, right? I'm not advocating. This is legal advice. Yeah, no, this is not legal advice. Shut up, Ellie. I am not trying to give legal advice outside of, don't send lewds, but that's more common sense advice. Don't do that. I'm just saying, like, based on because I've had to read up on some of this stuff because people on the internet argue about it all the time, and I'm like, it's good to be.
Oh yeah, and I had to look up the Japanese age of consent one time also.
Yeah, you have to look up the things.
It's annoying.
Yeah. We're gonna after this, we're gonna return to Eromanga Sensei. I just really need to like hammer home, because it's so easy to get taken out of context and people to be like, "Oh, you support the CPs because you think that the teenagers." It's like no. It's like with the whole I think Samu might have brought it up. It was like the meme of the teacher student. It's okay when it's the woman and the thing. If teacher tried to get like Samu. It's not the same for everyone, obviously, because Samu makes the good point of the 14 teacher and tried to get into his pants, you might lose it, and no matter what, it's bad, right? No matter what, it's bad. I'm just saying, I think a lot of men have had that moment of, man, that teacher's hot.
Yeah, but it's always in the context of already being an adult and having the fantasy.
And having the fantasy, yeah, exactly. And there's nothing wrong with having fantasies. Just don't do anything that's actually illegal. All right?
It'd be kind of scary if you're actually that small with that big of a teacher.
Woman, yeah. There's a lot of psychological problems that can come from that. So it is bad. It is bad. Don't take me out of context, all right?
Don't worry, we only have 6 viewers at the moment.
Yeah, but anyway, I think I've made it clear enough, so let's get into it.
It's the dynamic of an older woman interested in a spineless teenage harem hero is pretty fertile, unexplored ground if played out seriously. Given
if played out
I don't want to stay on the topic. I'm not responding. I'm not getting back. I'm not getting back into the topic. That is so fucking wild. Okay, I'm sorry. Like what?
No, I'm.
See, look, it's okay when he does it.
Yeah, it's okay when he does it.
It's really weird. I'm going to make my statement because I haven't been saying much.
Yeah, sorry. I've been ranting a little bit. So I'll let you do it, yeah.
Now he's playing by two standards, by two measures, in that he's treating age difference or underage very seriously when it's about girls, and it's very flippant when it's about our main protagonist, who is at this point 17-ish or so. Something like that. So he's being super flippant on the one hand and super serious on the other. Is weird.
Hang on. I'll just type it in the chat so I don't have to respond to stuff even though the live chat probably is going to get recorded. I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm responding to Samu basically. But let's keep going.
Status as a heroine on the same level as Elf or Muramasa, Eromanga Sensei Senior could take the plot in some unexpected and welcome places. But maybe it's just me.
Yes.
It could quite easily veer into the realm of outright creepiness and even be somewhat predatory, but let's not pretend we haven't crossed that line already.
Yes,
I'm going to withhold until the very end.
our sexy, our introverted and edgy loving girl likes panties.
Yeah.
And is going to steal them.
Yeah, this isn't my fetish. Why doesn't the show have my fetish? Yeah, exactly. It's fine.
Perfect.
Oh, God.
With very slight exceptions,